Elizabeth sent you here to pest me, didn't you? I programmed this challenge especially for her. I'm not shocked she held on to that grudge for more than a millennium, which can be good for her mental stability.
What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Destiny. Today, we're going to be taking on the last of the 3 Exo challenges, Simulation Agility, excuse me. Now, this was actually technically the first challenge when Beyond Light initially came out. It was this one, then it was the one that I'm already forgetting the name of, where we had to fight off all the enemies that were trying to board the center, and then the last one was actually the survival challenge. But we're doing things a little bit differently just because that's sort of the way it played out. This one is probably the most time-consuming of the 3, and that's just because you have to do a lot of platforming to get there. You have to be really patient, try not to hurry too much, but at the same time, you also still want to be good with your timing, otherwise you're going to get yourself in trouble here. So a lot of these platforms that we're jumping on will appear and disappear kind of in sequence, so you got to make sure that you're staying on them at all times, but you got to be ready to jump back to a different platform when needed. So you can see that they're sort of disappearing behind me like this. I want to take out all these cubes here now that I've killed all the harpies, but I'm still missing one. Now you can jump onto the corner of this, which is good. That's a little safety net that you have just in case you get yourself caught in a bad situation. But this can be a little bit harder for certain classes that aren't able to jump on the fly as well as hunters are able to. I'll be honest, this is one of the only platforming challenges in the game where I would say hunters outright have the easiest time with it. That's not to say that this is necessarily hard. It's probably one of the easiest platforming challenges in the game altogether, but it just kind of suits what hunters are good at better than most other things like what you see in raids, for instance, which are absolutely more geared to the likes of like warlocks and titans, for instance. So let's take all these enemies out. We just need to kill all of them. It's not really anything super special, but you want to have a long-range weapon for this one in particular just because of how far away a lot of the harpies are that spawn from you. You can deal with pretty much everything else at close range, but it's not advised, except in the final room where basically everything is going to be at long range. So, okay, this one disappears really quickly if you're not fast, so bumping your head like that, probably not a good idea. Okay, I was able to barely get here before it disappeared. Now let's jump across the gap. And we have wyverns in this room we got to take care of, so we're obviously not going to want to get too up close and personal with those guys in particular, but we'll, we have our ways of dealing with them. I've almost got rewind again. I'm at ×9, so that's pretty good. I'm going to actually just punch you and then get that. So now I have my little time chasm here. That'll help me out a lot with this wyvern. Not bad. Love this little guy. He is my friend. He is my buddy. Shoot the wyvern, please, not the other enemies. I don't really care about them. There you go. That's what I wanted. All right. I'm able to extend time chasm just a little bit. Beautiful. All right, let's keep heading on up. We're almost to the top of this room, and then it's the final room. Now, I said it's the most time-consuming. It's very relative because all of these EXO challenges are on the short side, if we're being completely honest. But, you know, I mean, it can still be something. I think I had a grenade for that. Like, this one is, I think, the easiest to just die in stupid ways, but that's also probably just because I'm bad at platforming challenges. But here we go. All right, this is the final room. Now, the way that this works is very simple. You've got 4 complexes around the room, one that is immediately hackable. You need to make your way around the room. You can choose either direction. Well, actually, no, I don't think you can. I think you have to go counterclockwise. But you want to head on over here, take care of all the enemies around the complex, including the Hydra, or Cyclops, excuse me. And once everything is dead, that will allow you to then hack the complex so you can proceed on to the next one. Once all of the complexes are destroyed, or once a complex is completely scanned, excuse me, you can destroy some boxes that will weaken the shield around the main box in the center, which is obviously the final goal to destroy. Now, it's funny because this part of the challenge is really anticlimactic. I also said things out of order there, didn't I? Destroy the boxes first, then hack the complex, excuse me. The end of this is really anticlimactic, and I'll show you why. It's actually quite funny. I'm going to use a rocket launcher on you, so goodbye. And be careful as you go further into this challenge, they'll start to spawn these fanatics, so you won't really want to jump down where the goblins are. Just kind of keep your distance, and you should be okay. Almost got them all. Okay, you don't want to be too far away, though, with a pulse rifle. It's not the best weapon for that particular distance. You want to be at least a little bit closer. Unfortunately, the time chasm, I don't think shoots the boxes, so that's a little unfortunate. But whatever. A little bit wasted. Let's get this one. We got one more to hack. Same as before, rocket launcher, just so I don't have to deal with you. And I think for you guys, I'm just going to throw a shuriken in there. I was hoping that was going to get one of the fanatics to blow up the rest, but alas. I had to home in on exactly who I didn't want it to home in on. And yes, you have to kill all of these enemies. You have to. You can't just, like, leave them be. You need to, other boxes will not be vulnerable. You know what these simulations kind of remind me of, if I could be completely honest with you? They kind of remind me of that part that everybody hates in the Far Harbor DLC of Fallout 4, the only bad part of that DLC. Like, just the makeup and the feel of some of these areas. But I guess it's also, like, pyramid-esque. I don't know. It's just, I think it's the lighting and the mood more than anything. All right, so this is where things get a little bit anticlimactic. So I'm going to take out this first box here, and the way that this works is you kind of want to move now clockwise around the room as opposed to counterclockwise. You can absolutely deal with the enemies here, but you don't have to. It's not required of you. They're just kind of there as an obstacle for the rest of this portion of it. You want to make your ways clockwise around now and start taking out each and every single one of the boxes. So you... And we can jump on the center platform, much like we could earlier on in the challenge. Take care of this one. And once all 4 of these boxes are destroyed, the center box will become vulnerable. Now, the funny thing is that destroying the center box instantly ends the encounter. I'm talking instantly. Now, these are going to spawn in, and then we got this Quantum Hydra here. You've got actual enemies to deal with. Doesn't matter. As soon as you destroy the box, everything dies. Super simple.
Certainly see why my granddaughter chose you to be her lackey. Run on back to her, why don't you? What you've done here will power her smug satisfaction for another 1,000 years.
Shut up, Clovis. Anyways, yeah, so like I said, kind of an anticlimactic ending to that, which I think is kind of funny, but yeah, you don't really have to deal with that last set of enemies. Really, the last 2 sets of enemies, if I could be honest. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Let's Play Destiny. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode very, very much, and I'll see you all in the next one.